Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Welcome to Accelerated Health with Sara Banta. I'm a busy wife, mom of 3, and an NAMP certified supplement professional, but that's not all. I'm also the founder of the most innovative health supplement company, awarded 4 years in a row, Accelerated Health Products. We are a brand offering innovative, natural, scalar enhanced supplements to optimize your health. And this podcast is not just a source of information. We're a community. We're all here to learn and grow on our health journeys, regardless of where you are today. And this podcast is the springboard to learning. The free group coaching on Telegram is where we continue learning together. You can ask your questions. I post tips and tools to deepen your health and to keep you motivated in moving forward. So here's what you can expect. New episodes every Monday and Wednesday with in-depth discussions and expert guests. Hot topics that are in the news every Friday to keep things fun, and then followed up with the free group coaching on Telegram. Have you thought about detoxing, but you're a little worried if it's too much, or you're worried about the detox flu symptoms? You don't want to be on a juice diet. You don't want to be hangry. Well, I've created over 10 unique, easy detox cleanse programs to help you reset your body while feeling great. No detox symptoms. You can start with the colon cleanse just to get rid of that constipation, parasite cleanse, candida cleanse, the kidney cleanse, the liver flush cleanse that you need at least 4 times a year. And then the big one, the accelerated diet cleanse that gives you a reset of your hormones, your weight loss, your gut, your brain, all the things. You can take my detox quiz at Sara Banta Health to find out which one's right for you. And maybe you're not ready for a detox, but you want to start with a few supplements, maybe 1, 2, 3, don't know which ones to start with. Complete my health goals form for your free supplement protocol on the website. I will personally put together a protocol for you. So today we are talking about antidepressants. This is close to my heart because I've got 3 kids. They've struggled with anxiety and depression, but they're not on medication. We've done it the natural way, but their friends are. And doctors are passing it out like candy. And really, is it working? We don't know. So you are probably struggling with anxiety or depression as well, as statistically most people are. Most of the population will say that. And I was talking to my college kids this weekend saying, your age group claims that like 90% of you have struggled with anxiety or depression. So if you think it's just you, what's going on inside of you, no, it's everybody else. But I have this facade with social media and what we're putting out there, and we're hiding. And that's part of the problem, but that's a whole nother story. So in the recent years, pandemic made it a whole lot worse, but then social media, technology, spike protein, diet, we're going to get into all of it, have made that depression reach record highs, with more people than ever being diagnosed. And then, of course, prescribed antidepressants. Doctors' answer to depression is antidepressants. At the same time, the sales of the SSRIs, which stands for Selective Serotonin Reuptake Inhibitors, they are climbing just as fast, turning antidepressants into one of the most profitable drug classes in history. So if the sales are up, you'd think depression would be down, right? Nope. Well, on the surface, it might seem like a good thing. More people than ever are reaching out for treatment. But the problem is mental health issues have only gotten worse with the increase of these drugs. For millions, these SSRIs haven't been the solution they were promised to be. Instead, they've come with serious long-term side effects that people are not being warned of. This is the issue. So at least 50% of people don't get relief from their drugs. Most people on antidepressants have hypothyroidism. We've talked about that. So are these doctors testing the full thyroid panel? reverse T3, your stress hormone. That shuts down your metabolism, causes weight gain, causes all this other stuff. Are they testing free T3? That is your metabolism. Without proper free T3, you can't get energy to the brain to help with the brain fog, to help with the serotonin, to help with the anxiety and depression. Just by adjusting supplements to help with thyroid, most people are able to get off their antidepressants. But let's talk about the hidden costs of these antidepressants. They've been marketed as safe and effective for depression, but for many, it's far more complex. And while a small percentage may feel benefit from the medication, probably placebo, the vast majority see no improvement and the side effects outweigh any potential benefit. These drugs can cause severe long-term side effects, including emotional numbness, sexual dysfunction, and even increased risk of suicidal thoughts. You're thinking, well, wait a second. If I'm depressed and I'm put on an antidepressant and I'm no longer depressed, then I should actually have less of a tendency for suicide. Not the case. In fact, in a survey of over 1,800 patients on antidepressants, 62% reported sexual difficulties, 60% felt emotionally numb. Are we really wanting to numb ourselves out to life? 52% felt like they were not themselves. 47% experienced agitation. 39% had suicidal thoughts. 39%. That's close to half. That's not what it's supposed to be. For many, these effects are not temporary, they're long-term, after they stop the medication. SSRI-induced sexual dysfunction can be permanent, and the emotional bluntness caused by these drugs can leave individuals feeling detached from life, trapped in a toxic situation, unable to experience joy. And then let's look at beyond the individual. Okay, so this doesn't just affect the person, it affects the people around them. Research has linked SSRI use to increased aggression, violent outbursts, and in extreme cases, mass shootings and suicides. Now, what's so interesting is I just did a hot topic podcast on the fact that cell phone usage is causing aggression and violence in teenagers, especially when they're started even younger, right? The younger you start, the higher the risk of this aggression and violence. Do you think they go hand in hand? Yes. So the cell phones, the social media, the technology, the EMFs, that's all compounding the issue of depression, anxiety, and all those things. And then these kids are put on the drugs, and these drugs are making things worse. Okay, so at the core, the widespread use of these drugs is driven, of course, by money, not patient well-being, unfortunately. And the doctors don't have tools to give their patients other than these drugs. And the pharmaceutical industry has redefined depression to cast the widest net possible, turning a temporary emotional struggle into lifetime diagnoses that require lifelong medication. I will never forget. This was way before I was into the health industry. I didn't know anything. I did not know what I know now. One of my best friends just had a baby, literally delivered her baby. Within 3 days, she's freaking out, feeling depressed, hormones up and down, baby's crying, all these things. And she's like, my doctor just prescribed me an antidepressant. I go, no! 3 days after a child, of course your hormones are out of whack. Of course your emotions are out of whack. And the doctor just wants to prescribe. That's not the answer. And obviously that is an extreme example, but that's what their answer is. So then this temporary emotional struggle turns into a lifelong diagnosis that requires lifelong medication, because then there are side effects that cause a need for more medications. The result? A multi-billion-dollar industry that thrives on keeping people medicated regardless if the drugs help or not. So now what's even more disturbing, and I have this in my own family, consequences of extended family, I should say, consequences of the SSRI use, there is a rise of bipolar disorder. So because the drug is a stimulant, they often trigger manic episodes, leading to a misdiagnosis of bipolar disorder, a condition that requires even stronger medication. So you've got the highs and the lows. In 1955, 1 in 13,000 people were disabled by bipolar disorder. 1 in 13,000. Today, 1 in every 20 to 50 people are diagnosed, and 83% of them experience severe impairment. Studies show that 20 to 40% of depressed patients who take SSRIs later develop that bipolar disorder. So would they have been bipolar if they didn't start the drug? You know, that's a big question. 20 to 40%. That's a big statistic. So despite this evidence, the psychiatric industry continues to downplay the connection, blaming the disorder rather than the medication. So then there's this cycle of dependence, how the SSRIs keep you trapped. Unlike a true cure, this drug or these drugs only suppress your symptoms, creating this lifelong dependence that's difficult, if not impossible, for many to break from. And doctors dismiss the side effects as part of the illness. So they're saying, no, that's you. That's not the drug. They're gaslighting the patients into continuing the medication that is harming them. Withdrawing from the SSRIs can cause severe, even life-threatening symptoms. I cannot tell you the amount of people that say to me, oh, don't take away my drug. I can't. I've been on it for 20 years. Well, how are you feeling? Well, I'm depressed, but I'm not going to get worse. I don't want to take that away. You can't take that away. Give me some stuff that'll make the depression go away, but don't take away my drug, because the withdrawal symptoms are so severe. And these SSRIs frequently lead to additional psychiatric issues, requiring even stronger medications that come with even worse side effects. And then you have multiple medications and you don't know the side effects of what it's doing to your gut and your brain and your body long term with this cocktail of medications. So even those who try to quit face that uphill battle. Withdrawal symptoms can last for weeks, months, even years, and those could include severe anxiety and panic attacks. And that's on top of the regular anxiety and panic attacks that maybe you and I just experience in daily life, and we're not on these drugs. Depression and suicidal thoughts, brain zaps, those electric shock sensations in the head or the limbs, aggression, violent mood swings, psychosis, unbearable insomnia, dizziness, cognitive impairment. Now, like I said, this is on top of all of the things that will cause those issues in normal life without the drugs. Menopause, perimenopause, the spike protein, the toxins we're taking in that rip up our gut and disrupt that gut-brain connection that is triggering anxiety and depression. A lot of our happy hormones are made in our gut. If our gut isn't feeling good, then our brain isn't going to do well. Guess what rips up the gut? Guess what causes leaky gut? Any prescription drug, including antidepressants, anti-anxiety drugs, antipsychotic drugs, anything that they're putting you on, any medication is a toxin to the liver and the gut. So shockingly, 56% of SSRI users experience the withdrawal symptoms, with nearly half of them suffering severe withdrawals. Yet rather acknowledging the dangers, doctors often take these symptoms for a worsening mental illness, right? Prescribing even more medication instead of helping the patient get off their medication. So what can you do? And like I said, this, depression, anxiety, I've experienced it. My kids have experienced it. My husband it is part of our lives now with all of the threats that we're experiencing. We are salmon swimming upstream. When I talk about the need for supplements or detox or proper diet and getting rid of the chemicals and the artificial ingredients and the processed foods, it's not just about weight loss. It's not just about energy in the gym. It's not just about building muscle. It's about building the brain and creating that foundation and giving your body a chance and your mental health a chance. And all I can say is look yourself in the mirror with what you're doing with your life right now, what you're eating, what medications you're on. Is it working for you? And I ask myself that about whatever isn't working for me. If it's not, you got to pivot. Pivot and perseverance. I tell my kids all the time, those are the 2 P words that get you through life. The ability to pivot and to persevere. So there is a way out, and I've seen it. And I wouldn't feel so strongly and passionate about this if I didn't see it from people that were on these really strong drugs for 20 plus years, and people that I love and that are my backbones in life and that I count on and that I would do anything for. Those people are the ones that are bringing me today with such passion because I've seen them turn it around. So there are safer ways to heal. Now, let's talk about supplements first, because when I was at my rock bottom, my practitioner and my mentor said to me, Sarah, we're going to fix your foundation first, and then we'll deal with the lifestyle changes, the diet, and getting you out, because your body, you can't get out of the ditch or the quicksand if there's more quicksand, right? So we need to get on the surface of the quicksand, and then we can build. And number one is acceleradine iodine. Why? So I mentioned that most people on antidepressants have hypothyroidism. And after the pandemic, I would say close to 90% of you have some sort of suboptimal thyroid function. And without your thyroid working and having ATP and energy in the cells and the ability for your thyroid to create circulation in your brain, and the thyroid's also needed for your adrenals and your sex organs and all the things, right? It's the master endocrine gland. Without the ability for your thyroid to work, your brain isn't going to work. You're going to have brain fog, depression, anxiety, all the things. So it is needed for your thyroid function. That iodine provides the 3-4-2 molecules of iodine in the T3, T4, T2 thyroid hormones. You can't have thyroid hormones without iodine. And iodine is no longer in our diets. It is no longer in our soils. It's no longer in our salts, the refined salts that are full of microplastics anyways that you don't want to eat. So it is really important for your brain health, that mental clarity, mood stability. The number one cause of mitochondrial failure, iodine deficiency. We're only as healthy as our cells. The number one cause of depression, iodine deficiency. So even if your loved one says, I will not get off of my medication, still give them that acceleradine iodine. But it's also detoxing the heavy metals, the fluoride, the toxins that interfere with your brain health, that clog your pineal gland, that clog your thyroid, that cause leaky gut, that back up your liver. Your liver is where your thyroid hormones convert from inactive to active. So you can't have healthy mitochondria and detox pathways that are open and thyroid optimization without a healthy liver. So you've got to focus on the liver as well. Now, you can have the accelerated liver care. That is a combination of 13 amazing herbs that no other liver formula has, that regenerates the liver, opens up the detox pathways, helps the ability to get all of these toxins out, the thyroid hormone to convert from T4 to T3. But guess what else? We have emotions that are stored in different parts of our body. The liver stores anger and frustration. So you can imagine if your liver's backed up, that's only going to make your emotional state that much worse. Okay, so with that, acceleridine iodine, it's opening up your brain, it's helping with your thyroid, it's also helping detox you, but it's also giving you that iodine that helps with depression and lifts the mood. It's also known as the #1 spiritual mineral in the world. So it connects you to your higher self, whatever your religious beliefs are. Acceleridine iodine, accelerated liver care. Then we've got accelerated Cognoblast. This is the supplement that I've had multiple people come to me saying, I actually am weaning off of my antidepressant. And here I am going, I never knew you were on an antidepressant, because people don't share that until they're ready to get off of it. And the supplement is not just for those that fight depression and anxiety. They're for the CEOs, the high functioning people that used to take Ritalin or Adderall to get through those long study nights in college, but now are in the workforce and don't want to take the drug. They want to take something to supercharge their focus. I factually type faster on my computer when I take the Cognoblast. So it helps with the memory, the focus. It prevents Alzheimer's and dementia long-term. So unlike the medications with the side effects that could cause these brain issues later on in life, it actually has long-term benefits. But it also boosts that neurotransmitter production for a sharper mind, balanced mood, helps the learning ability, reduces oxidative stress that contributes to brain fog, mental fatigue, increases ATP in the brain, in the body. Because the other thing you have to think about is if your thyroid is sluggish, everything's sluggish. And if you don't have energy to do anything, that might be part of the cause of your depression. God, I feel and I'm not getting out of it. And it's persistent. And I feel stuck. That's going to cause a little depression. And it should, because you feel like you have no hope. There's nothing to reach for. There's nothing to look forward to. You are stuck. Well, that's called thyrostress and causes the depression to be even worse. Well, the Cognoblast gets you out. It lifts you up. It increases that ATP, just like the acceleridine iodine and the accelerated thyroid. Those two together really help with the thyroid health, but they help the ATP, and that helps the brain energy at the cellular level. So accelerated Cognoblast. And then with that, you've heard methylene blue. It's all over the news. It has so many benefits. It helps with prevention of Alzheimer's and the degradation of the brain as you age. It helps with increasing ATP. It reduces oxidative stress and neuroinflammation. So inflammation in the brain, improving mood and stability. It enhances focus, memory, and mental endurance. So do you need all of these? You absolutely need iodine. Everybody needs the acceleridine iodine. Pregnant women need it at the most. Teenagers go through the biggest level of apoptosis, which is the turnover of diseased and new cells coming into their body. And you need iodine for that apoptosis. So you need iodine more than ever during those two periods. And imagine this, those teenagers are the ones that are really suffering, right? Could be connected. But acceleridine iodine, the accelerated liver to clean the liver, release the emotions that are stuck in the liver, help with the thyroid conversion, thyroid hormone conversion, and just getting rid of those toxins that cause these mental issues as well. Also helps with detoxing from the EMFs from the cell phones that you're on, watching your social media and making you depressed, right? Okay. And then the accelerated Cognoblast and the accelerated methylene blue. So what I personally do I take my Acceleridine 3 times a day throughout the day, and you increase your dose until you get up to 25 drops 3 times a day. Then I use my methylene blue in the morning with my pre-workout, and it gives me that great boost. And I use the Cognoblast when I'm ready to sit down and work midday, doing podcasts, whatever it is, that gives me that second boost during the second half of my day. I mentioned the accelerated thyroid, but this is a supplement away from medication that provides glandular, but also the peptides and other nutrients that the thyroid needs. It supports your adrenal health. A lot of times you are depressed and anxious because your cortisol has been chronically released. You have been in a chronic stress state and your body shuts down and your adrenals kaput, right? When your adrenals have no strength or grounding to them or basis, your nerves are on fire and you have no filter, right? You have no filter from the stressors that are coming in from your kids, from your husband, from your elderly parents, from work, whatever it is. It hits you a lot harder because you have no barrier, because your adrenals are fatigued and they just say, I can't do this anymore. Well, the accelerated thyroid helps the thyroid and the adrenals. Remember, the thyroid is your master endocrine gland. It controls your adrenal health. And so this will help with the stress-related mood swings. It enhances overall cognitive function, emotional stability. A lot of women will say that with the Acceleridine iodine and accelerated thyroid, that their menstrual cycles are easier, PMS is less, and menopausal symptoms are better, all of that, because it's all related. So then you've got, what are we going to eat, right? Okay, so before we go on to that, Acceleridine iodine, 3 times a day. You take your accelerated thyroid in the morning because we want to wake up our thyroid. You can wait 45 minutes and then you can take your accelerated liver care, your methylene blue, and wait a little bit later to take your Cognoblast, because you're going to feel a nice rise of mood from the thyroid and methylene blue, and you probably don't need the Cognoblast until a little later in the day. Now, that's our foundation. So that's going to stop the quicksand and give you that foundation. But you can't just take supplements and eat crap and do all the things that you're doing already and being sedentary and all the things that are taking you down. So you want to remove the processed foods. Okay, number one, 70% of the market that you go to is all processed foods. If you open the package, it's processed. I don't care if it's a clean, low carb protein bar that's organic. It's processed. You don't know what ingredients are in there. I've seen organic canola oil. That's still not good for you. It's inflammatory. And anything that's inflammatory is going to inflame the brain. Any inflammation in the brain could be triggering these mental issues. So we want to eliminate the processed foods. The seed oils, they cause inflammation and insulin resistance. Alzheimer's is known as type 3 diabetes. That is caused by insulin resistance. So we want to get rid of those foods. Now, we're going to talk about some of the healthy foods that you might be eating, trying to do the right thing, and they could be triggering some of these issues. High sulfur foods, garlic, onions, cruciferous vegetables. I know you think that they're healthy for you, but because of glyphosate and some of the other toxins in our food supply, our livers can no longer process high sulfur foods the way they used to. And they actually block thyroid function, worsen brain fog, and can actually cause depression. Oxalate-rich foods, which are another group that you think are healthy, spinach, almonds, potatoes, kale. Kale has sulfur and oxalates. These can cause neuroinflammation, energy crashes, pain, urogenital issues, lowered thyroid, which is then going to contribute to your mood issues, right? So many other issues, urogenital issues, UTIs, arthritis, that sort of thing. So what do we want to eat? We want to focus on wild animal protein, grass-fed bison, lamb, venison, elk, wild fish. Yes, grass-fed beef is probably okay. Those provide the essential amino acids, healthy fats, brain-supporting minerals. That should be the basis of your diet. And the healthy fats, avocado, ghee, coconut oil, those support hormonal balance and brain function. So when you're thinking about your depression or anxiety and you're depressed or anxious about your condition, there is a way out. And eating the right foods, moving your body. Did you know that exercise is the only thing studied to actually increase BDNF, which helps you get out of that depression? Move your body. If you don't exercise yet, start with walking 10 minutes a day, then 10 minutes 3 times a day. Try walking before or after a meal. It's amazing. It lowers your cortisol and it makes you feel like you're moving forward mentally and physically. And connecting that physical to the mental motion is huge. Okay, then sleep. I finally, after a week of not sleeping, got some really good sleep last night. I feel so much better. You cannot out supplement, out diet sleep. You've got to sleep at least the 7 to 8 hours. And no one is able to function optimally on less than that. I don't care who you are. Even if you are a multi-billion-dollar CEO, it's not possible. You're going to suffer somewhere. You want to surround yourself by positive people, with positive people. You are the most like the 5 people that you hang out the most with, right? So you want them to be smarter than you, more positive than you, encouraging, real, and those people are hard to find in this world of social media. Your friends are not on social media, people. Your friends are not there. They are the ones that check in on you, that ask the questions, the hard questions that you feel like you can really divulge your innermost thoughts with. And that is what's important. Those social connections are connected to longevity. The last little tip I want to throw out that I use daily for multiple things is the Healy device. This is a device that you just put the TENS pads on your body anywhere. And it has over 60,000 programs, from viral issues, from influenza A to B to the vid to depression, anxiety, relaxation, thyroid health, fat burning, metabolism, hair growth, gray hair, vision, hearing, all of the things, but plenty of different programs for anxiety, depression, sleep. And I've actually done the sleep programs and my Aura Ring tells me it works. That's not a placebo. So it is something that you could definitely look into as well. It's on the website at sarabantahealth.com to be the cherry on top to the supplements, the diet, the exercise, the sleep, the social engagements that you have. And that's going to help get you off of those medications, give you some hope. Remember, if it's not working for you, it's time to pivot. It's time to try something new. And your brain is not broken. It is not a death sentence. You do not have to be on these medications forever. There is a way out. So thanks for listening. Our discussion does not have to stop here. If I triggered some thoughts, if you're worried about a friend or a son or a daughter, reach out to me. I'm here to help. You can start by getting your free supplement protocol at sarabantahealth.com. Complete the form and I will personally put together a protocol for you or your loved one. Follow me on social media at Accelerated Health Products for more insights and join the free group coaching. Ask your questions from what you learned today. Let me know, how are you feeling? Where are you on this journey and how's your mood? And we're in a different world today with all of the toxins and the radiation, the things we can't see that are tripping up our brain chemistry, and it's not our fault, but there is a way out. You can find this podcast and all my podcasts by searching Accelerated Health with Sara Banta on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, E360, iHeartRadio, and over 100 different platforms. Share this podcast. I know you are thinking of someone who needs to hear it, and it doesn't hurt to just share. Let me talk to them. You can use coupon podcast10 to get 10% off your first order if you want to try one of the supplements I've talked about. And like I said, I'm happy to help put together a protocol for you. Just email me through the website. Remember, I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so join me next time for more ways to unlock your health potential.